Shalom, Apostle Hall coming back at you with this truth, giving all praise to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Makakwadash. I'm going to call this video, or entitle this video, You Reap What You Sow. This is, what I'm going to show you is part of a sit down of Louis Farrakhan, Minister Louis Farrakhan. This video was put up, and I'll leave the link in the description box of this video so you can watch it in its entirety. Anyway, this is Minister Louis Farrakhan, of the NOI, Nation of Islam, which there's no such nation as a Nation of Islam. Islam is a religion. What he should be, what they should call themselves is the Nation of Israel, because that's who they are. And he should have a 12 tribe sign anytime he speaks. The 12 tribe sign is a whole nother lesson, which I spoke about this Saturday. And we even had an example of a woman, which appeared to be a Puerto Rican woman. She walked up to the camp. She didn't see the sign. She was far away enough where she couldn't really see the sign, but she knew that the sign was there, and she said, "Where's Ephraim? Where's this tribe of Ephraim?" And she's looking at the back of the sign, dealing with the other nations, and we said it's in the front. And then she goes right to the front of the sign and points out to Ephraim. She said, "I'm Ephraim. You know, my people are Ephraim." And then she said, "Oh, I love you guys." And I asked her if you watch us on YouTube. She really didn't hear me. She kept walking. She said, "I love you guys," and she kept walking. You know, if you go to almost the end of our speaking on past Saturday, which was November 14th, 2020 year prophecy, you know, you see, you can catch it on the video of the apostle speaking, because we were speaking about that earlier. I think I even opened up with me or either Apostle Gabar. We spoke about the sign, how King Marshall, when he would speak, he would always go to the sign. He would start off everything with the sign, and then he would go, let's read the different tribes and who they are today. Who are they being called today? And we go Judah, the Negro, Benjamin, the West Indian. That's an important sign. Anybody that's teaching that the sign is not important, really, in reality, they don't understand the word, the scriptures. You know, Ezekiel 37th chapter in the 16th verse, it speaks about Judah and his companions, and Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and his companions being put on a plank. When you look up the Hebrew word, one of the meanings of the word is plank, and put both of these planks together and make them one plank or one stick in thine hands. Now Ezekiel, the prophet, never put a sign together and went around walking around with a sign, because Esau would have brought it up. Yes, it was at this particular point that Ezekiel was walking around with a 12 tribe. We don't know what it represented. No, the 12 tribe sign is for us today. And it goes on to say in that same chapter and verse that when the people of thy people see it, they will inquire as to what does all this mean. And we had that. We had people come up and look at the sign. And what is this all about? You know, I see my name, you know, and then you identify who they are, whether they be Simeon with the particular tribe that they come from. Anyway, that's a whole another topic. You know, don't come and say we want to debate the sign. We want to have it. We're not interested in debating. The Lord said the Lord didn't say go around and debate people. You know, He told many of the prophets in different ways. He said to go out and teach the children of Israel. In particular, and specifically, He said in Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter, which is one of my favorite chapters, because it goes into the grassroots of what we're supposed to do. Eat this roll and go out and teach the sons of Israel, meaning the sons and daughters of Israel, not any other nation. So anytime you say, well, it says Gentile in the New Testament, we know that those Gentiles are Israelites that don't know that they're Israelites. So we have to wake them up to the fact that they're Israelites, and the elect among those Gentiles will wake up and the others will stay asleep. Farrakhan, Louis Farrakhan, he has his followers in a deep sleep, and you can't tell them anything about Israel and all that. They just won't take to it because they blindly follow their leader. Anyway, I'm going to let you listen to a few words or part of this sit down that he made, or this talk. So listen up. And you know, we're not the only ones bringing up the slave thing. And you know, deep down, Esau loses sleep. You know, because his truth is coming out. Or they took down one of my videos, Jesus for Dumbasses Part 1. They left up Part 2. So I was checking out the Part 1. Now they said the reason why they took it down, they said this video was removed for hate speech. Well, I don't know when I said anything hateful. I said some truth. And if there's hate mentioned in that video, well, that was truth. That was reality, because when you Edomites and the other nations go into slavery, we're going to show you hate. You know, you can't do away with the word hate by an edict. You just can't. You know, if one kid in school bullied another kid in school, and a couple of years go by, and that next year they come back to school after summer, and that kid that's been bullied, he grows to be twice the size of the guy that bullied him. What do you think he's going to do? The bigger guy is going to bully the other guy back. That just makes sense. Or he goes to a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class, you know, for that summer. When he encounters that bully, he's gonna beat his ass. He's gonna twist him up, and then he's gonna bully him. Anyway, it's just payback. It's reality. It's the truth. You Edomites in America, you show your hate for the Arabs, and you label all of them terrorists, which is hate. And that's why ultimately some of these Arab nations that possess the missiles, they will shoot missiles on you in the name of hate. Payback. You know, slavery, and I can quote all the scriptures. What is that? Exodus 21 verse 16. Isaiah the 14th chapter, first couple of verses. Revelation 13, 9 and 10. Galatians 6 and 7. Isaiah chapter 60, Isaiah chapter 61, just to name a few. The future for the ones that have slaved us shall be enslaved, and we shall be the new slavers. And that's just reality. You can call it hate, you can call it karma, you can call it reciprocity, you can call it whatever you want. But you will experience that reality. Anyway, so let's listen. Let's listen to this.
It is because we are the children of a former slave and colonial master that subjugated our ancestors to the vicious transatlantic slave trade that brought us into the Western Hemisphere. And those who remained in Africa came under the cruel tyranny of Europe in their enslavement in Africa by the British, the French, the Italians, the Germans, the Dutch, the Spanish, and the Portuguese. All of these nations have subjected us to tyranny, the loss of freedom, and they have ignored the cry of those of us in our pain for the principle of justice. What does the United Kingdom and Europe owe to those whom they formerly enslaved and colonized?
Now what Farrakhan wants, and he speaks in behalf of other of our people who want form of reparations. They want a check, you know, a big check, whether it be $10 million, $1 million each, which would be an insult. The ultimate reparations would be literally, if you enslave someone, you are to be enslaved. If you killed a number of people, you are to be killed, and your kind. So that's real reparations. And Esau's not going to give you real reparations. They'll give you a bunch of words, like this demon Clinton said he apologized for slavery. Well, goddamn, man. You know, you take a woman and rape her and kill her and kill their children and kill the parents and the husband and take their house, and then at the end of the day you said, well, I'm sorry for doing that, and then everything is, you know, everything goes back to normal because you said you're sorry. No, it takes more than saying that you're sorry. Your future, and they might just take this video down, trying not to, they might take this down, we're taking this down for hate speech. No, this is truth speech. You can keep taking videos down and blocking videos and deleting videos and deleting these YouTube pages, but the truth is already out there, man. You know, we brought you before the great court system of truth, and we laid the charges on you and gave you the evidence, and now it's the sentencing stage, which is hardcore slavery, destruction and hardcore slavery. And no, we're not going to put this to the side. Esau is going into slavery along with the other nations. And Esau, the Edomites, will catch it the worst. Let's listen on.
Well, if the biblical law of justice is applied a life.
What's the biblical law of justice? What is the biblical law of justice? Esau. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, life for life, burning for burning, death for death. Slavery for slavery. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. And all I got to do is quote a handful of scriptures on judgment, payback. And you can't say, oh, well, that's all in the Old Testament. Well, guess what? It's in the New Testament as well. Enslaving someone will, in turn, you will go into slavery. That's in the New Testament. That's in the last book of the New Testament. Let's listen on.
For a life of millions of us have been destroyed in the middle passage of the transatlantic slave trade.
And the fulfillment of that is Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. And you have individuals like Vocab Malone and other so-called Christians. Oh, that's not talking about that. It means something else. It's 70 AD. They took Israelite men, 17 years and younger, and they put them on ships from Rome to go into Egypt. Now, that could have very well happened, but what about the woman? Because the rest of the precept speaks about slave men and slave women, bond men and bond women, and no one shall buy you. Meaning, no one shall buy you out of that condition. No man shall redeem you, because ultimately our Redeemer is our Lord. And how is he going to redeem us? He's going to come back on a big, gigantic ship. Now, Revelation 11 chapter says that the elect will be beamed up in that one ship that Yahushua is in, pursuant to Revelation 11 chapter. So before you Edomites, and I shouldn't tell you who you are. You already know who you are. You're Edomites. Going to captivity, your system will be destroyed by way of fire. Then you need to you got to stop dragging your feet and hurry up and chip every goddamn body so the next prophecy could come to pass. This is it. This is it.
Tens of millions of us have been destroyed on the African continent. If Europe were to pay for the lives of black and brown and red and yellow people who have lost their lives under colonialism and slavery, I don't think too many Europeans, white Europeans, would be left if that law were applied. And then when you think of what Europe gained from our enslavement.
Yeah, they became rich through our enslavement. Anyway, I'm gonna close. I'm gonna close this this talk and told I'll come back and do another video. But you know, we're hitting home, man. You know, we're hitting you with them spiritual gut shots. And you don't have to be some super fancy guy with a bunch of different precepts. Although we'll bring you precepts, but those are precepts that well understood by the so-called white man. You don't have to be a scholar to say, oh, well, that part really means this, and he that leaves into slavery shall go into slave captivity. That really means that's a spiritual that's Esau playing his little fucking demonic games. Wordplay. Oh, well, that's not talking about now. That was talking about 2,000 years ago. That happened 2,000 years ago. You know, those ships that went into actual Egypt. Yeah, one guy put in a comment, Deuteronomy the 28th chapter and 6-8 verses talking about you got to go back to actual Egypt. Well, the scriptures speak about a spiritual Sodom and Egypt. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to say shalom.